if they're waiting. Pull the Galio into the middle of the team. Give us the two-man. We'll find the follow-up, baby. That's the shotgun. One shot, making it look easy on the turn and burn here. Unicorns will love running. Tails between their legs. Hexing ultimatum comes down and Steeelback's down. Oh no, looking for the 2v1 outplay. Can he jump onto Ruin as well? The cannon barrage, the jump, the oh no, get dumped! You see a little bit more will connect. Jarvan leaps in. Perks there for the cleanup. That's going to be two. Can they stop them from getting the game? It does not look like it. 11-0 closeout for G2.
And for the first time in history, the fourth consecutive EU LCS title. G2 Esports.
Misfits, the underdogs in this game. No one expected anything, but they hit hard.
Sjokz, the first Blood King! Let's make it a clean fight.
Welcome to Berlin and week 5 of the LCS Spring Split. After closing out the first round robin yesterday, we are ready for some explosive rematches as the teams go up against their opponents from opening day. Hello everyone, I'm Sjokz supporter here with Maurice Amazing Stuckenschneider and Andrew Vedius Day. We have to talk about the Deficio faces in the crowd. There's actually a bus of about 60 fans that drove all the way from Denmark to attend the show. So shout out to them and to the masks they brought.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a lot of fun today. Deficio will be casting our first set of games. I hope he doesn't use that face because it was a little terrifying, but I think he'll be a little more excited after today's matches.
What if a fan actually took his place? Do you think we'd notice?
I don't think I would.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's take a look at the race for the top halfway through the split with G2 Esports and Fnatic closing in on the league leaders Vitality. Vitality is still #1. Vitality is not coming off a good day one because they got crushed by G2, but they're still #1, so that's something to hold on to.
Yeah, they did get crushed by G2, but they're still holding on to that #1 spot. Fnatic, on the other hand, and G2 on win streaks, and that's something we have to highlight.
Yeah, 5 wins in a row for G2, 4 wins in a row for Fnatic, and things are normalizing, it looks like, because those were the 2 teams that we were looking at to fight for the top spots.
Certainly feels like it. We had a lot of exciting matches yesterday, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the standings will shake up moving forward.
True that. Yesterday was packed with highlights, big matchups, and some surprising results. Vedius, why don't you give us a little breakdown?
I would absolutely love to, Sjokz. Let's have a look back at some of the fun stuff that we had going on yesterday, starting off with H2K pulling off a pretty significant upset against Roccat, led by their new jungler and mid laner in Sjokz and Selfie. These guys drafted a bit of a wombo combo this time around, and they were able to put it into good use versus Roccat, demonstrating a new flavor and a new style, giving H2K a little bit more identity that we'd love to see moving forward as they continue their growth. Next up, we have G2 with a dominating victory over the league leaders in Vitality. Vitality tried to draft themselves a bit more of an early game composition, but G2 answered with map pressure. They had the globals, they had the Galio, they had the Gangplank, and everything Vitality tried to do, G2 were quick to shut them down. To round things out, we've got to go to the mid lane man Caps from Fnatic, who had a fantastic performance up against Nukeduck on Schalke. Nukeduck was definitely not in form, and my god was Caps able to punish it, getting 2 solo kills in the middle lane, snowballing that lead into later game fights. Caps was the leader in this game to allow a very dominant victory over Schalke and allow Fnatic to move up into 2nd place in the standings.
2nd place in the standings, and we'll see if Caps and Fnatic can continue their winning streak tonight as they close out the week with a game against Splice. 4 other matches up on the schedule today. We also have Misfits versus G2, which is going to be spicy. G2 is obviously looking very strong after that Vitality game, but this should still be a highly contested match.
Yeah, it should be. I think Misfits looked really strong yesterday. I think they can actually turn it back around against G2 because the first game of the split, they lost, and this game, they could actually
They finally need to win. They also lost in the summer finals. They weren't able to beat them on opening day. We're hoping that this will be a hotly contested matchup. But in our first match of the day, we've got the Unicorns of Love going up against Giants. Now, we've seen the Unicorns of Love searching to find a play style that fits with their new members, but after almost 5 weeks, they've yet to replicate the successes of the past. So we wanted to take a look at their previous records of previous years and where they were at the half point in the split, and it's looking dire so far.
Yeah, so you can see their win percentages on your screen and look back in 2015, these guys had a decent record about the middle of the pack. Beginning of 2016, things looking pretty positive, but it's that 21% in summer with the introduction of Exileh into the middle lane where we saw a really big decline for the Unicorns of Love. But in the late stages, they were able to turn things around. They made it to playoffs. They even made it all the way into that third place match. But it's not until recently that we've seen a performance that was even worse than that.
And until recently is also where now Hylissang and Vizicachi, those strong holders, are no longer there. Is that the cause?
Yeah, we kind of had the question whether or not they defined Unicorns or if Sheepy did. And it seems like they did. They were always the reliable forces. They were always the star power that Unicorns had to rely upon in the later stages of the season, and especially towards playoffs. I don't think they can turn it around as well as they used to because of that.
Yeah, and it is getting later in the split. As said, halfway point, they need to be started picking up wins. H2K was in a similar position. They made a drastic change and now had another win on the board. So is that what we're looking at for Unicorns of Love? Is that how extreme they have to change things up?
Well, you're looking at it and you have to start to wonder because, as you rightly identified, H2K are the other team that was sitting at the bottom with this Unicorns of Love roster. They were both 1-7 and expectations were that they would stay that way, but with this massive change from the side of H2K, they've now gotten ahead of the Unicorns of Love, and Unicorns hold that sole position of bot. We've seen them adapt their playstyle a little bit by playing more towards their mid laner, but right now that's not bearing fruit for the Unicorns, and they need to find some way of transitioning this mid-jungle synergy into wins for the Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, I think they're almost like trying to fix a sinking ship to a certain extent with that mid lane play coming in. I really want them to clean up their play in general. I think it's not about the mid lane only. I think a lot of people are making very different mistakes in terms of team fighting, in terms of execution. And I think if they can clean up some of the mistakes, the glimpses of brilliance that they have shown may shine through even more so.
Oh, amazing. That's very hard word usage. Trying to clean up a sinking ship. It almost sounds like you don't believe they can turn it around.
I don't believe quite because of the star power that is lacking now, but I also believe because they have so many individual mistakes coming in that there's so many holes, it's really hard to fix it in one split.
Yeah, but we need to see them start fixing those mistakes, or at least not making those mistakes right now, today, and maybe they can do that. They are up versus Giants, and Giants, they're also starting to slow down. They were very heavily underrated before the split. They got some wins on the board. They started off great, possibly played above expectations, but they've started to decline individually a bit. So where will they have to work on kind of to reinvigorate their style and get some more wins?
Well, exactly that. I feel like we just need to see a different play style coming from this Giants roster because coming into the start of the split, a lot of eyes were on Ruin. We hyped him up. He got a lot of player of the games. He was a dude that was building his own individual leads and then translating them into mid-game success. Since recently, Ruin hasn't been getting those same level of advantages. They haven't been able to rely on him to transition early lead into the mid game, and that's where we've seen Giants start to fall off in this mid portion of the map. And without Ruin, we haven't seen any difference from them. Giants are still playing like they were from week one, and as a result, teams are figuring that out. And as we saw from yesterday in Splice, they took advantages of these weaknesses and shut down Giants in what was the fastest game of the split.
The fastest game of the split, indeed. But as you mentioned, there are some good things there. Ruin obviously crushed it. It's not like he suddenly turned into a bad player. Djoko is still putting pressure on the map early. They just need to find a different way to tap into that. Amazing.
Yeah, they definitely do. For them, it's basically this mid game that they keep faltering, and it's a similar thing to Vitality almost, where it's a question, do they have the individual talent to keep up with the top teams? And have they only been performing so far because they were ahead of the meta? And I think for Giants, it's that they were ahead of the meta. They had an over-reliance on early game plays. They had the Azir and the Nard that they figured out really early on, and they played well around. It's up to them to now basically find another champion or a couple of champions that they can play around and can play well around.
Well, hopefully we find some solutions for both of those teams. And as we gear up for day 2 here in week 5, we want to know which moments stood out to you. So hit us up at LOL Esports with your big plays using the hashtag EULCS. You can watch them in the EULCS post-game lobby at the end of the day. But for now, it's time to kick off the action here in Berlin, so let's send it over to our casters and hit the rift.
Thank you, Sjokz, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Martin Deficio Lunga, joined by Martin Deficio Lunga, Polsa, Denmark, Copenhagen, all those good things. On stage right now, we've got the Unicorns of Love versus Giants, with Unicorns of Love setting up on the blue side. And it's a lineup that has only got one win thus far, but actually looks pretty strong across the board.
I have no idea if you can hear me. I think you
can hear you.
Sweet, okay.
Apparently we're clear to take off the masks as well.
Oh, these masks though.
Freedom! So, Unicorns of Love, Sheepy at the helm. WhiteKnight, Kold, Exileh, a lot of players that they've been relying on who perhaps haven't quite been stepping up yet.
Very true, very true. Love the mask, by the way. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm gonna keep this one. Yeah, Unicorns are love. Gotta start winning games. That's pretty important. Giants don't want to lose more games because yesterday they got absolutely destroyed. Same players on the Rift today, of course. Don't want to fall that far behind.
Yeah, they were miles behind at the 15-minute mark against Splyce. The largest goal deficit they have had as a team this split at 15 minutes, but still signs of hope for them, maybe. I know that you think they may have been found out.
I mean, I just think they kind of relied a little bit too much on going to late game. Everyone else made a lot of mistakes, and then they would win the late game. Yeah, the hair's a little bit messed up now.
I thought it would be, but it's worth it for the cause. It's worth it. I felt alive wearing that mask, Deficio. I might take it home with me.
Keep it. Don't do anything dirty with it. But let's get into the ping and ban phase.
I don't think the audience agrees with your plan.
Actually,
of not
go
doing
ahead, do
anything
whatever you
dirty.
need to do.
We are going to get into picks and bans. Unicorns of Love on the blue side, Giants on the red. Lots of options on 8.3. We've seen faster-paced games. We've seen a few less target bans at times as well. Kalista hasn't been banned out in every single game, but Camille is a very strong pick, and the Unicorns will take that one away.
Oh, it's a fine choice. Zac was open every game yesterday. It was picked in a lot of them. It won a lot of them as well. I felt like every jungler that played Zac looked fantastic. So I kind of want to see if teams want to just take it early on, if they want to ban it away, because it really allows you to play super aggressive around engages. Meanwhile, this pick and ban phase, Ryze is gone. I like that. Unicorns love to ban Tahm Kench. I would love to see that again. Sheepy, he understands that Tahm Kench is most annoying champion in the game, and it is taken away.
Second most banned champion across the course of the split as well. Giants here still have a few options. You know, you could try and narrow down Exileh's champion pool. You could look towards Kold and take away some of those utility junglers that he seemed to perform on. It's going to be the Azir, so Exileh.
That's a really weird one. Exileh is not a great Azir player. I know he's picking it, but it's not very successful whenever he's playing it. So I actually think that's strange. Also because Betsy really likes to play Azir.
The problem with that argument is you could say that about a lot of the champions that Exileh has played.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, the Ryze ban is because, you know, he can play that champion really well. I like the burn. I would never ban Azir against him, but Giants clearly just want to get rid of a bunch of mid laners.
I do like the Rakan ban here from the Unicorns of Love, because Targamas has shown he's very good at some of those initiating supports. Getting rid of the Rakan, removing his ability to initiate as easily is quite good.
Allows him to pick the brand. I told him before the game we want more brand from him. Sadly, he lost and fed really badly in that game, but he did get to pick it, which was nice. Giants' last ban? Nothing. Nope. Talia. What? Okay. Exileh Talia.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
What's happening here?
He hasn't played at this split. Maybe there's something from scrims we're not quite sure about, but we have seen a lot of Gangplank priority first picked in a couple of games yesterday, so WhiteKnight is going to get his hands on that.
But there's still a bunch of picks here for Exileh to play. Like, his Corki is fine. Whenever he's playing it, that's available. In this case, Veigar, he's already picked once. That was, of course, against Azir, so probably not going to see that in this game. Zoe is also open for Exileh to play. So it's really interesting they're banning two of the champions I don't think Exileh normally do super well on. Momo is always hovered for some reason.
Not going to be picked.
Not going to get picked. It is the less interesting Sejuani, as always. Kold can, funny enough, respond with Zac, and then we get tank junglers.
Zac is very strong at the moment. Djoko, most played is Sejuani. Has some pretty good stats with it as well. Have to see if he's able to actually utilize that as effectively as he wants to, because yesterday he got very much found out in the early game. Alongside the Tristana here for Steeelback.
The best AD carry right now.
Do you think so?
Yeah, Tristana is definitely the best choice. You can pick after some of the nerfs that happened on this patch. Also the safest, good laning phase, good scaling. Like, you can do everything with Tristana. So I think it's fine to grab it. I would expect Zac to come in unless Kold wants to play a carry. And again, reminder, they banned Azir, Talia, but left Zoe open.
But Zoe was massively nerfed, as you said yesterday in this patch.
That's true. They're insane 0.25 second.
A quarter of a second is a very long time. It's important to keep track of that. Could be the Jarvan here as well for Kold.
Yeah, and the smart thing about that is it's really good at ganking mid. All right, hover the Malphite that you lost to yesterday. I respect that. Jarvan, of course, is really good at camping mid lane. And Kold only goes mid. It's the only thing he's doing now. Goes mid, tries to get kills for Exileh over and over. Betsy should know that. And of course can try and answer us properly. It is Vladimir.
Now this course could be into the Gangplank in the top lane.
Yeah, or the Zoe in mid.
Could be into the Zoe in the mid lane. Now, Have to watch how often Kold does gank that mid lane, because yesterday he had the highest jungle proximity of any jungler thus far this split towards his mid lane. It was above 30% of the time in the early game that he spent near Exile. Now we're getting to the second stage of bans, removing some AD carries here. Caitlyn taken away. The Unicorns of Love will take the Galio out of the pool.
I like that. Teams yesterday forgot about Galio in the pick and ban phase and let him go all the way through to the last phase when he got locked in quite some of the in a few of the games. Only Fnatic had a good answer with the Corki still being available. Would have been a choice here, of course, but Unicorns of Love have already shown Zoe, so they don't really want to give away Galio. I wonder if they want to just ban another mid lane on their side. Of course, AD carry on Giants because they've already shown Tristana. Kalista taken away, so Samux is one of the guys who's played Ezreal. Didn't find a lot of success on it, but it is there.
Xayah's there as well if he does want her.
Xayah without Rakan is an option for him. I still want to see Jinx from Samux. Or Twitch. Played a lot last year.
That's true.
If they want to go for like insane late game. They got GP scaling already on their side. Alistar ban coming in.
Removing those engaged supports that we talked about for Targamas, so just trying to...
But Braum is still there if he wants to play that and just get a super solid choice. Taric as well against the Jarvan. Interesting.
Getting that ult down, AoE, shielding, invulnerability for your team as well. The heals that you get from Starlight's touch in the lane, and the Dazzle stun is always there for the Taric. So what do the Unicorns of Love want to do here? What do they need to face into this Giants roster?
That's the thing, they know it's Tristana and Taric in the bottom lane. They can go for Braum if they want to just have their own melee support, and that's kind of the simple choice. 80k
Good prediction.
Thank you. Wow,
Deficio.
insane. I really want to see something unique from Samux, and not just super standard AD carry choice. Like, give me some crazy stuff like Twitch, even though against Taric it kind of sucks.
I really think it's going to be the Ezreal.
Ezreal is there. Ooh, Sivir.
Sivir
That's
would be
fine.
Yeah, similarly safe, but you don't need too much damage from the rest of your team. You've already got the Gangplank and the Zoe, the AD carry here. Bit of utility, bit of damage. It makes sense when you look at the composition.
Nothing special getting picked in this draft so far. We still got to see if their Vladimir will go top against the GP, which is definitely likely, and you can just grab something different against the Zoe. Betsy in the mid lane. All right, Targamas, I know you're playing with our feelings.
Playing with your feelings specifically.
Specifically my feelings. Vedi is playing Brand mid. Ooh, that's fine. I like that.
Okay.
Good choice against Zoe.
So it means that you can flex the Vlad up towards the top lane. You have the Kassadin for Betsy in this mid lane. Strong into Zoe, as you say, because of the magic resist.
But I think Jarvan can shut down Kassadin pretty effectively early in mid. So there's definitely risk involved with the pick here from Betsy if he ever gets to push in lane. Jarvan can definitely shut him down. Meanwhile, top scaling matchup on their side, bot lane. Of course, when you pick Ezreal, you're not always looking for kills. You can literally just sit and farm with tier, and that's about it. But I think Giants' team fight pretty insane, especially because Taric will allow Kassadin to get in. Same for Vladimir without getting bursted down. And then we know they can kill whatever squishy is sitting in the back line. So I like the Giants draft if Kassadin does not get shot down early game. And again, Unicorns love to camp mid.
They want to camp mid. That's their imperative. That's exactly how they've played most of their games thus far. And it seems to be the lane that you want to gank here as well. A Zoe and a Jarvan can do a lot of work. Top lane, as we said, is more of a scaling matchup. Very hard to gank a Vladimir. Bot lane, very hard to gank a Tristana and a Taric as well. So expect to see Kold towards that mid lane. He's going to be focusing on getting Exile ahead on this Zoe.
But it's kind of classic for Giants. Again, a ton of scaling on their side. They're not looking to like win the early game by any means. I think Unicorns have way more options there around mid lane, especially. Of course, GP just wants to sit and do nothing top, but that's fine. The fact that you have a Kassadin always means the late game is going to be insanely scary from your side. First time Betsy gets to play this split.
But can Giants actually get to the late game? They couldn't yesterday. Will they be able to today against the Unicorns of Love, who are still looking for only their second win of the split? We are past the halfway mark. If they don't start winning soon,
oh yes,
they are definitely not going to make it to playoffs.
Important to note, there is no relegation here in the Spring Split. So being dead last, while it obviously hurts your pride and everything.
It sucks quite a lot. Let's be honest.
It definitely sucks. It's not the end of the world in this Spring Split. Summer Split, on the other hand, you gotta step it up if you're Unicorns of Love. And we also have to see, Medic, after yesterday's action-packed, fast games, was that just one random off day?
Oh, I hope
Or
not.
is that the new trend of patch 8.3?
I want action. I want fights. I want Kold to continue to gank the mid lane. I want Djoko to do what he does and aggressively invade and sometimes lose his life because of it.
Oh, that's going to happen. Don't worry. Djoko will have about 5-6 ganks the first 10 minutes.
Where's he going to be looking for those ganks? Is he trying to just relieve pressure on the mid lane, or is he going to other lanes?
Sucks to gank for Kassadin early game. Top lane, GP doesn't necessarily have to push his lane either, so Djoko might have to go bot lane to really do it, but I don't feel like he has any great lane to play around, which kind of goes against his own playstyle. Let's see this invade, while we also see the goal graph from yesterday's game that Unicorns played in. So against Misfits, I think it was pretty even until like 15-16 minutes. Actually, let's follow the little early level 1 fight.
Djoko and Ruin trying to stop WhiteKnight and Kold in their tracks. The red buff is just going to reset.
Oh, no, this thing. Nope, nope,
Oh,
yeah,
what?
nope.
What?
So much pressure on Kold. All the Danes are here watching him.
Indecisive like my ex-girlfriend. Ask her where she wants to go for dinner. She just doesn't know.
That's the classic, though.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
and then she gets mad when you pick something.
It's like, oh, let's have Dominoes. No, we can't have Dominoes. I'm watching my hips. Exile's coming
Your
here
hips
as
or
well.
her hips? I'm not sure.
Both of the hips.
Exile's here, yeah. That's
Should be able to score. Oh, oh, yes!
Oh my god.
Counter jungles his own jungle.
That was really cool by Djoko. Clearly, Unicorns did not expect him to still sit around the corner with a ward. Now we have a level 1 Jarvan. Still.
He's going to get invaded.
Oh no. Oh no. Djoko is coming. This is really bad for Kold. The French invasion. Will he get him?
Hasn't happened often in history.
Oh, Kold. No. He's going to be level 1 at like 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes in
And
this
how
game.
much does that cost them as well? Because Giants want
Everything.
to scale, so denying the Jarvan early game is great for them.
This was the pick that was going to camp mid for Exile against the Kassadin and stop Betsy from farming. That's not happening now. He's, of course, running for base, so 3 minutes in, he's not gotten a single camp. He's level 1. He didn't even get to buy anything other than,
Got control with it for sure. He wants to make you happy.
He's a team
knows
player.
He got control wards.
I like it. All right, Djoko. Funny enough, he can't just run through the turrets and get to this side, so Kold is safe for now. But will get his first camp around 3.5 minutes into the game, and he was the one invading Djoko.
Exile's trying to get some vision on this blue buff as well, so there is a possibility that Kold looks to try and steal it away from Djoko, who's doing a full clear of that top side jungle, but Giants realize that is a chance, and so they push up the bottom lane and get some vision.
And they can only do it if the bottom lane is actually pushing against Giants. If Samux here can actually push this lane in, then maybe they can invade together with Kold, but he's still so weak in this early start. Djoko even left a little small wolf camp.
Oh, it's just rude.
Just a tiny one that Kold can come and pick up. Yeah, there you go. Go get the small wolf. That's all you get. That's your punishment. And that's it.
It's a meager reward.
And now he can't invade the blue buff. Of course, again, the bot lane could have just jumped him. He will have to settle for 1 camp on the bottom side, while Djoko gets everything.
Should be able to secure this blue for
Oh, get the
him.
Rift Scuttler. That's a small win.
Will he get it, though? Because Djoko can just actually pressure him. Kold is on his way.
Oh, another jungle fight.
It's going to reset. There we go.
So Djoko's smite was on cooldown until now. That's why he didn't want to finish it. He saw Kold, of course, run past the river.
This feels pretty vindictive from both of these junglers at the moment. It's like, well, if I can't have my jungle, you can't have your jungle.
Oh, he's still
I'm
around.
just gonna delay you.
He's still around.
Exile
Oh,
is going to use the
two.
ghost from the Spell Thief as well to come across.
And this is where Kassadin suck. Can't follow. Gets pushed in. All of Unicorns trying to get this blue buff for their jungler. Giants are here, though.
Djoko's stolen one before. Kold, a level disadvantage.
Oh, Exile.
Exile gets jumped on. Look for the stun here as Giants collapse. 3 members there. The double stun with the Taric. And that's a lot of damage. Djoko's going to go down first, though. Exile still dodging around the fight. Totoro gets the concussive blows. And now Targamas is not in the best of shape. The blue goes to Kold. Betsy caught out. He's
gets a
away. He's just about going to survive. Targamas there as well. But Exile's not done yet. Betsy down. And the Unicorns of Love have capitalized on some counter jungling. The paddle start to Targamas. Looking for the double buff. But here comes Steeelback. The heal. Samux gets it. And somehow the Unicorns come out alive.
Oh my god, from having a jungler who was down a full level in the early game, they get 3 kills. And the blue buff also went over to Kold. I love this.
It went to Kold, then it went to Targamas, and then it ends up on Exile. So Exile now has double buffs.
I mean, why not at this point? You got
Actually,
2 kills.
Samux. I think it was Samux who got the final
Alright,
kill.
one of the carries got double buffs. Exile got 2 kills. Let's see the whole thing again. So they managed to send in a support. Exile could roam first, and now it's technically an even fight. But it is just a really good 3-man engage onto Djoko, who's taking all the damage, while, of course, Exileh managed to get out of the first fight. Kassadin is only level 5. He's kind of useless. Can't really do anything. And they win the first one, get that 1 kill. Then great play, of course, from the Braum. The blue buff is even hitting Targamas in the bot. Like, everything just went wrong for Giants, despite having such a great start.
It's good stuff from Exileh to continue to get these paddle stars connecting. Steeelback heals not in range of Targamas, I don't think. And then Samux comes in and picks up a double for himself. Betsy is now level 6, has an 18 CS advantage in this mid lane, but of course, 2 kills down.
Exileh lost a lot of CS during that fight. And of course, TP back from Betsy. Not the same on Exileh because he'd used the Ignite in the fight, so it was on cooldown. I love the fact that we just continue from yesterday. Yeah. Like, this is early game now, and now we just fight each other left and right. It's all around the junglers invading buffs. Now we actually get to see Kold is level 4, Djoko's level 4, so it's evened out.
You better not be cheering control ward kills.
This is only game 1.
We've had enough
starting.
action in this game to not cheer control
Oh,
ward
we get
kills.
a bot lane roaming mid.
Silence onto Exileh. Here comes the sleep. It's going to connect, and now Djoko goes to bed, but Steeelback jumping in, looking for the final auto, can't quite get it out. Steeelback jumps back, somehow heals again, and is still alive. Cannon barrage is not enough to take him out.
That was close. They just missed the stun right there. Exileh stayed alive. That was a bot lane level 4 roaming mid and going all in for the kill. Now we get Unicorns up with 3-man mid on their side. Exileh's very low. Betsy's level 6. He needs to be careful.
Exileh picks up a flash.
Don't be too greedy, Exileh. Just step away. Step away.
Samux has the push in the bottom lane as well, and that's giving him about a 20 CS lead. Top lane, haven't really talked too much about it, but Ruin is winning the matchup into WhiteKnight on this Vladimir. It's difficult for the Gangplank to trade before he really gets towards any completed items.
Not really a threat once you get a few levels on the Vladimir's, once you get a few levels in his queue, I should say. Then suddenly, WhiteKnight's poke doesn't really do enough. Late game, we know both of them scale super well. They're going to walk into big team fights, try and smack the backline in the face. It's going to be super interesting to follow them later on. For now, I think everything happening on the other side of the map has been a lot more impactful and fun to watch. Ruin will just keep trying to be annoying, and WhiteKnight will keep trying to sustain.
Okay, so let's quickly take a state of the game, because I feel that so much has happened, we need to evaluate exactly where these teams are. You've got Exileh with a couple of kills, a bit down in CS in the mid lane. You have 3 kills on the Unicorns of Love to 1 on Giants. You've got a gold lead of 1,000 gold on the Unicorns as well, and a CS lead in that bottom lane. Are the Unicorns set up for success here? It feels like the early game has gone as well as it could have done after that initial invade.
Yeah, I think the only other thing they would have loved was just to deny Betsy a little bit more. Yeah, he died once, but again, he's been getting 70 CS this early on in the game. I think he's slightly ahead in experience, so that obviously is kind of bad, but we might get another fight.
Double Dazzle is going to stop them in their tracks, but the Concussive Blows is procced on towards Targamas, so Samux can continue to put some damage down. Has already completed the Mana Mune on that Ezreal.
Finds Kold. Learned from last time they fought over a jungle camp. Decides to back away. We'll find a control ward. I guess a small win for him. Nope. Nope. Oh, yeah, he found it.
Found it.
Thought he was... You never know where they're looking.
Wait.
Oh,
not going to get it. There's the paddle star. Oh, that's half his health.
Luckily, we nerfed the cooldown.
Yeah. Otherwise, that would just be broken.
Yeah, of course. In the end, it is Unicorns Aloft getting the control ward on their side. Let's look for the next play here. Double TP soon available for Giants, making diving the side lane a little bit hard, but there's no stopwatch on Steeelback's side, so you can actually go bot lane if you're Unicorns and threaten to try and one-shot him.
Look how far back he's having to play as well.
And
very
he's level
resistant.
5 to level 7 on Samux. Like, Unicorns are going to dumpster this bottom lane.
That fight around the blue buff really helped out Samux getting the double buffs, being able to harass into Steeelback, who has only got the BF sword, no pots in that lane, compared to a completed item and a 20 CS lead for Samux. Joker's going to look for a blue steal, but at the moment, Unicorns run the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, they're going to trade blue buff when Kold realizes, okay, he can just go grab it, give it over to Exileh, who want to kill the wave first. So they're kind of trading sides. I would love to see Unicorns just go bot lane and secure that tower as fast as possible, and then swap Samux and Totoro to top side. Unless they want to kill the Drake right after this. Because, I mean, if you're Steeelback is still level 5. He's not even getting any CS at this point because Samux is just zoning him away.
Here we go. First tower goes down. Samux gets all of the gold.
And now they get Drake. After that, they can go back to base, spend a ton of gold on Ezreal, get 2 items super quickly, and then you can go topside. Djoko is actually doing the only smart thing he can here, which is just do Rift Herald while they're sitting bot lane, get something top.
And And they do have a 30 CS lead on this Vladimir, who's completed a Proto Belt. So there is an opportunity for Giants to play around the top side of the map. We talked about Ruin's ability to dive onto the backline with the Vladimir. It could work out. He's scaling very quickly towards a very threatening Vlad.
I want to see how far it is in gold compared to GP. He's actually 400 gold behind.
Yeah, GP has Kleptomancy.
And he got the first turret, of course, with the team. But yes, despite being that far up in CS, gold-wise, did not make a huge difference for Ruin. Proto Belt first, of course, is good for him. And this turret is taking a lot of damage. Kassadin can roam up and they can try and kill WhiteKnight because there's no TP in Exile. WhiteKnight is kind of left on his own for now. I assume Unicorns Love will push up bot side and then either go mid or top, though, with Samux and Totoro. Samux, he's pretty damn fed. That's completed, upgraded tier, there's a Sheen, enemy AD carry, BF sword and boots. Quite a difference. Also 2 levels.
Yeah, I think the 2 levels has a huge amount of impact as well.
Oh, Aram.
Here we go.
Well, you know what to do, man. Go mid. Oh,
try not to eat a paddle star. Oh, he gets knocked out because he missed the Glacial Fissure. Totoro put it off towards the side. Didn't actually know exactly where Djoko was, but tried to stop the Rift Herald. Was unable to do it with the CC. Exile's going to get some damage onto Betsy with a great paddle star, but Rift Herald is not going to secure the tower, so Giants continue to fall behind.
And now they get to swap because Steeelback has to go bot lane and kill the wave. That means Samux can go mid lane against a Kassadin who can't wave clear. And Unicorns Love can actually rush down this turret, at least get some damage on it. That's what they're doing now. Meanwhile, Betsy and Targamas are like, yeah, this sucks.
It's not where you want to be. Targamas still only level 6 on this Taric. Does have the ultimate and the dazzle, of course, as Betsy jumps in once again, but forced back. The tower is just about going to fall as the Unicorns of Love get their second turret of the game. A 3,000 gold lead 13 minutes in. The Unicorns are coming out fighting this second half of the split.
After such a horrible start, where they lose the red buff to Djoko hiding over the wall, and then suddenly it looked like Kold was just out of the early game. He was done. And they found their way back through fighting. I like it. I also like Samux, win the bot lane super hard. Now got that double buff early. Take the turret, go mid, take another one. Now he needs to push up bot, go back to base, go top lane, secure another outer turret for his team.
So we talked about in picks and bans, we said Giants have great, insane team fighting, I believe were the words we used. At what point do they actually become able to team fight in an insane manner? What do they need? How far do they need to scale to actually be able to play against Unicorns? Because at the moment, Unicorns have the rub of the green in most of the lanes.
Yeah, I definitely want to get Lich Bin on Kassadin and a few more levels for him before he really can assassinate someone in the back. And a lot of it's going to be chase either Exileh or Samux, or if you are Giants, because this Ezreal is going to be really fed in this game. He's even going Trinity Force. I like that a lot. No Iceborne Gauntlet here, no boring kiting Ezreal. Damage, pure damage. So if they can't get onto him early with Kassadin, they can't really win the fight there, but there's a lot about flanking, TP in from the side on Giants, which means if Unicorns of Love do find themselves out of position, they will die, no matter how far ahead they are. So I think there's a lot of skill involved in how they're going to team fight. We get that swap top lane. Ruin should have expected this one.
Yeah, Totoro flashes across the wall looking for the concussive blows. There's the Hemo Plague as well. Didn't actually connect onto anyone as Ruin tries to get away. Flash, Proto Belt, Kold on the chase here.
Nice.
Does have the Cataclysm. There's the concussive blow stun, and Samux will help Totoro secure the kill.
But this, we literally said this. They're going to push bot, recon, go top, and Ruin didn't expect it. Who about Djoko?
WhiteKnight does have the oranges. The stun comes out as well, but Giants just going to force him back from the tower.
So WhiteKnight can ult the wave and stop Giants from actually killing the turret. Sadly, the ult doesn't get to fully destroy the wave instantly, and there's still enough time for Giants to take it down. But they're going to trade now. Bot lane tower for Giants, top lane tower is going to go to Unicorns. Giants might push for a second one. I think that's hard against the GP.
It's the most kills that Unicorns of Love have had at the 15-minute mark this split. Aided, of course, by those 3 early kills in the jungle, but yeah, doing a very good job thus far.
I also feel like it's the first early game where both carries have been getting kills. Both Exileh and Samux are looking fairly strong in this game after the early start. Samux especially. He's been part of taking down every outer turret now. No matter where he goes, Unicorns just find more gold for the team. All of Giants are around mid, so Exileh needs to be a bit careful.
And it's what we wanted to see from Unicorns as well. We talked about the change in the roster, the rebuild that Sheepy had to do around Exileh, around Samux, these veteran members of the team. They were the guys that really needed to step up. They were the guys that really needed to keep the consistency for the Unicorns of Love. And this is much more like it from them. yes, Kold has been a leader. He's been the captain. He's been the guiding force. But it's on Exileh and Samux really to carry the team, to put the impetus on themselves to make these plays.
You definitely cannot win the game alone as a Jarvan. That's for sure. So again, that's why highlighting.
Maybe you can't. Have you seen my Jarvan?
I have not.
No, nor have I.
I've actually never seen you play jungle. Pretty sure you suck at it.
I used to play jungle Fizz only, and people stopped playing with me.
Yeah.
So I switched to support.
You're one of those guys.
Yeah.
See, what you need to play is Garen jungle. No skill shots.
It makes sense for you, because you lost the sort of hand-eye coordination a long time ago.
And now all I know is Q, flash, kill.
By kill, do you mean you die? They get it.
Yeah, I'm Garen, I'm useless. Of course I die. Like,
Makes sense.
Champions suck. But if he was good, that could have worked.
Could have worked. 3,000 gold lead for the Unicorns of Love, cresting the 17-minute mark of the game. There's an Ocean Drake coming up, a Mountain already secured for the Unicorns. And a much stronger early game. Almost at that Trinity Force for Samux. A big power spike for him, if he can get there.
Giants, they've been here before. Almost every single mid-game, they're behind. Then they wait and wait and wait and wait and wait to get a big late game team fights into a clean Baron call, and then they win the games. That's, again, how they picked up 5 wins so far. So it's not a weird situation to be in. It just gets harder now that some of the teams in Europe have kind of learned to snowball the game and finish it. Dragon's Being started, I think Giants is going to let it go, realizing, you know what? Not for us. They're just frozen in their lanes, and they're just going to see it die.
So a reason that Giants mid-game tends to be weak is they're not picking up all the CS on the map. They're about 170 CS lower than other teams are in the 15 to 30-minute mark. So what we need to track now is whether Steeelback and Betsy and Ruin are actually keeping close to the Unicorn CS and getting that extra golden experience.
And a lot of it comes from them kind of giving up the side lanes if they're behind and then going mid to kind of defend together, so they lose the waves to the turrets. And then they go back out later and try to push it out at some point, but they've already then given up the CS in the first place. Samux is on a mission. All right. Not sure why we had to follow that ulti.
Sometimes it's just good practice. I used to do a lot of observing. It's nice just to follow the arcane barrage. True Shot Barrage, that's the name of the ability.
You're definitely the MVP if you follow it fly through the map and like get the kill.
Yes.
On someone who's recalling.
That's
That looks super sick. Shooting minions. Yeah.
Yeah. But credit to our observers, they are very good at that sort of thing. If you're the Unicorns now, you're pushing up the lanes, you're trying to get pressure, you're trying to get vision control, maybe waiting for the Baron in a minute and a half, because you can force team fights, you can force Giants to have to come to you if you set up vision around that Baron. We need to see a few more deep wards from them if they're going to do that.
Yeah, just play around the side where Samux is at, because again, he's 2 items now on the Ezreal, 18 minutes in. So if he's top side, that's where you play. You know, you push mid, you push top, you get the deep vision in, and then you see if you can like either get the top lane tier 2 tower, or maybe if Giants are in that jungle, you try and hard engage onto them, but the engage is mainly Kold, so if he's not there, if they don't land a bubble from Exile, they won't get a... Oh, we might get a fight mid.
Bubble's going to land onto Djoko, looking for the damage on him as well. Concussive Blows has been procced as they wait for a little bit more, but it was a 4v5 because WhiteKnight was down in the bottom lane.
Nobody wanted to fight. Interesting. Kind of looking at each other for a moment there.
It's a little bit tentative from the Unicorns of Love, and you wonder, they haven't been in this sort of position many times this split. They haven't been ahead at the 20-minute mark many times, so maybe they're a little bit worried about going too aggressive with this lead.
I think they're just waiting for Baron as well, before they get another objective to play around. It does give time for Betsy, though, to get that Lich Bane we talked about earlier. Ruin as well is still really strong on the Vladimir. Giants are actually being proactive on the map, moving around. They're the ones invading on Unicorn's side. Have to be careful because Unicorns, they're ready to fight them if it is. Medic, we might get one here now. Nope, yep, no, Samux, that was a lot of damage.
Steeelback, forced away. That's what a Trinity Force and a Mura Mana.
Yes, and that's why you play around Samux, because he kills the enemy AD carry in about 2 seconds.
They brought down the Spectator overlay, and I saw True Shot Barrage was up, and I was like, oh, is it going to happen? Is someone going to get taken out? But Samux didn't pull the trigger.
Oh,
and, WhiteKnight.
Fast mode.
Double time. Down towards that bottom side. I had a game recently where I played most of it in double time because I disconnected and then reconnected, and for some reason the whole thing sped up, and that's what Unicorns of Love will be trying to do now. Speed up this game. 3,000 gold lead at the 20-minute mark. It's the best they've ever been this split. And they are looking for that second win. We have to remember, they are the worst team in the league at the moment if you purely look at their scoreline.
Yes, but they are one of the best looking 1 and 8 teams we have seen in the EULCS.
Sure, but
that is a compliment. That is a compliment. They've actually done really well in a lot of their games, but then it's like small things that backfires. Like yesterday, I have to admit, when I was casting unicorns, I made a mistake. Now that happens quite often, but this one was pretty big because there was a fight they took. Do you remember them where Kold on the Zac, he pulled the Galio in and killed his own mid laner? Oh, okay, they're fighting now.
Right now as Djoko gets engaged upon Samux, forced away. Betsy there up towards the top side, teleport coming in from the unicorns as well.
Ruin behind him.
Ruin's behind him. Hema playing Samux. They're looking for the kill. Steeelback's going to jump across as well, but Samux surviving. Steeelback so aggressive. They get the kill. They get 2. And now Giants are turning onto the unicorns. Targamas low. Down towards the bottom side. The minions got that, but Exileh can pump out the damage here. Paddle start to the face of Ruin. Has the flash across the wall. And in the end, the Giants win. Exileh goes in. That's another kill.
Let's see if that's everything we get here. Exileh still chasing for more. He's flashing over.
Trouble bubble. Smite comes down. Betsy takes the paddle start. He's going to jump away with the Rift Walk as well. The paddle again doesn't connect. Nor does the sleep. Another paddle start from Exileh. Good cooldown on that, of course. And he messes up the portal jump. Maybe expecting it a quarter of a second sooner.
That was a pretty close fight, though. Ruin actually TP'd in behind unicorns. We get it here once the fight breaks out. Ruin is on his way, but then realizes he can't run there in time. Good engage onto Samux. Very important. Betsy gets some damage on him, too. Not enough to kill him, though. And now the TP from Ruin down here at the bottom. Very important. He only gets onto the Ezreal, and even Steeelback jumps in. I think Samux misses a Q just in the end. That one could have killed Steeelback instantly, but he will still die from the... Just as I mute myself when I said that, just from the burn right there. Exileh played this fight really well.
He kept himself alive, which is the important
thing.
Then
he picks up a flash, use that over the wall, jumps back out, kills Ruin. While we're watching this, they are still pushing for the mid lane turret, so the action is definitely not over yet. Close fight between the teams. Giants are still kind of waiting a little bit. Kassadin and Vladimir, we know they can kill the back line, but at this point, the front line might die first.
We are into that Lichbane, fully stacked Rod of Ages on the Kassadin. You've got the Andrews Torment and the Proto Belt on Ruin. Only still 1 item on Steeelback, just that static shiv, but he is slowly getting towards that Infinity Edge. So, although it's a 4,000 gold lead now for the Unicorns of Love, they aren't as far ahead as perhaps we expected them to be after that early game.
But as long as Exileh can keep just dancing around fights, land long-range poke, jump in, nuke someone very quickly, Unicorns should be fine for these team fights. Just always risk against this much damage and flanking from Giants. Because you just know, even with 5-4 or 5-6k goal lead, one good fight from Ruin and Betsy, and boom, Exileh is dead instantly, or Samux is dead instantly, and Giants can win the fight. And Baron has not been taken yet, so the game is still wide open.
Third dragon for the Unicorns of Love. It's a cloud alongside their ocean and mountain, but it's important to remember that Unicorns haven't been the best Baron-taking team this split, Deficio. They have struggled when it comes to taking the first Baron. They've struggled with the engages as well, as once again the Fisher comes out. They're trying to get onto Samux, but he can jump the wall, and Totoro now is going to sacrifice himself, as Giants will get another kill.
But now again, this buys more time for Giants. It was actually Unicorns hiding in the brush, trying to be like, oh, could we maybe trap something here? And then Samux smacked in the face. I think normally you can shift out of that one if you actually see it coming over the wall, but I don't think he noticed it in time.
So I was just saying, Unicorns haven't been the best Baron-taking team. First Baron struggle. Oh, we're going to get a replay.
Every time we mention anything regarding Unicorns, we get more fights. So Samux gets out, but of course his support is kind of left to die. So I think there was a ward outside that spotted Samux walk in. So even though there was a control ward in the brush, Giants already knew he was coming and could kill him. But yes, you were saying Unicorns and Baron.
I don't think I should. I think you should bring it in this time.
There we go.
Not the best Baron-taking team. First Baron, they're 9th in the league. The amount of Barons they take in their games is 10th. And once again, we have a fight as Joker's caught out in the Baron pit. Is he going to be able to escape? He gets the smite, but Totoro gets the kill. And the... Ruin's going to engage onto Exileh now as well. Hemo Plate jumps in with the Sanguine Pool. Exile's down, a shutdown. Goes golden as he tries to survive the flash away. There's the Cosmic Radiance. Here we go. Be invulnerable for long enough. Steeelback now pounding down damage from the side onto Samux, onto Kold. Targamas and Betsy trying to survive.
Let's go, Steeelback.
Are pushing forward. It's all on Steeelback. Betsy gets one though. He's going to get another in the back line. It's Samux who secures it, and now Steeelback's jumping in, but Samux is too big at the moment. The true shots.
He got heal. He used heal. Oh man, these fights just back and forth all the time. Giants, I think, managed to get at least a kill advantage in this one. Steeelback, 3 kills on this Tristana here. It looked like he was going to get a penta, but kind of had to dance in and out and couldn't secure all the kills. Giants, though, despite it being another crazy fight, do come out with the 1 man ahead, get the mid turret, tier 1, we'll probably get tier 2 as well, unless the minion will die in time. Samux is on the way.
Even at the gold difference with this as well, it's only going to be about 1,000 between the two of them. Nope. Steeelback and Targamas do not want to face Samux at the moment. He is still huge. Still got that Trinity Force. Still got that War of Malmortius. Let's have a replay.
Let's have the replay. So they catch Djoko. This is really good. Just when you're criticizing their Barons, they do catch Djoko at the Baron, funny enough. And it seems like, okay, this is over. But then, this is what we talk about. Vladimir and Kassadin on squishy targets. Brune, 1v4 basically, kills Exileh. And now the rest of Giants join. It's 4-4. The terrible did not connect in time. Save Brune. Why not? What happened after this was everyone was low. Steeelback almost got all the kills. But then Unicorns kind of turned it around. And it was pretty even. And now we're back. So, Unicorns
we said we wanted more action, and we're definitely getting more action.
I love this patch already. Like, I love it. So few stopwatches. Notice how there's barely any spell books. Yeah, the mid lane got 1, but that's fine. We can accept 1 on each team.
Yeah.
We don't want that like 10 TP game where if you ever make a play somewhere, 5 people TP in and you can't actually be aggressive. I like this style more.
So, 27 minutes in, basically even in terms of gold. 3 dragons sitting on the unicorns, but we're getting to that scaling point. We're getting to the point where Giants have the insane team fight that we talked about.
Betsy and Ruin almost hitting level 16 within the next like 5 minutes or so. And then we have the same thing we saw before with the Vladimir that used everything on Exileh and killed him. Well, that can happen every fight. Exileh needs to play this perfectly in terms of him just constantly dancing around and poking. Never be in the front line. Never be the one taking the first damage. Like this. This is good. In, try and let a bit of poke, out, instantly. Like the Banshees as well. Might save him.
Turabouts forward, just using that off the Spell Thief. Samux as well. Absolutely massive on this Ezreal. For another paddle start, Exileh's just going to clear out the way, but Targamas already has to back away. Ruin has to push in the bottom lane. WhiteKnight is with his team. So WhiteKnight will have to answer this wave down towards the bottom side, and Ruin's going to move his way up.
And let's see Ruin here. Currently about 30% into level 15. Betsy on his side, same thing for him. So they're not getting 16 if there's a fight now. Obviously WhiteKnight will get pretty close on the bottom side, and Exileh keeps landing the poke. That's Banshee's pop now. Needs to be a little bit more careful, but he has the cleanse.
Steeelback down towards the bottom side of this. There's Glacial Prism, but Exileh jumps in, cleanse away the sleep. Exileh's going to get a paddling onto Steeelback, and that is a dead AD carry, 1-for-1. As Giants now try and retreat because they do not have Tristana. Another sleep lands. The flash across the wall, but the chase with the Fisher. The Unicorns want this jungler, and they will secure him.
2-for-1 and chasing for a bit more. Ruin's pool is gone now.
Pulls away. There's the flash as well. Exileh jumping forward. WhiteKnight there. Can get some damage down onto Ruin. Doesn't get it. The dazzle. The drowsy as well. The paddle style might connect, but there's the stopwatch. Targamas puts up a shield. Gonna take a lot of damage, and there's the kill for Exileh. He puts another sleep down, uses a stopwatch just to delay time a little bit. Here's Betsy, but Exileh too deep. Manages to flash away, gets on Betsy. He baited it, and Exileh survives.
Now Unicorns are winning the fight here. They landed so much damage at first, and they kill Steeelback despite his summoners being up at least a flash in that last fight. Exileh unleashed in these fights. Whenever he's not taken down early, he's so annoying to play against on this Zoe. I think Unicorns will try Baron. Ruin is TPing in. Still only 15.
Doesn't have the ultimate. Doesn't have the stopwatch. Doesn't have the proto belt. Does have a lot of damage from the side. There's Steeelback as well, trying to keep himself alive. There's a Hemo Plague. Steeelback onto Totoro. Will be able to secure the kill in the end. Heals, flashes away as well. True Shot Barrage not going to connect, but the Unicorns of Love do not want to give up this chase. Kold jumping in, the double knockup with the flash. Dazzle comes out as well, but Samux can rain hell upon the faces of the Giants as they fall down one by one. Exileh with the sleep doesn't quite connect. Does in the end with
he's sleeping.
Samux looking for it, gets the kill. Djoko gets jumped on. Samux with a triple, and Giants are falling apart.
The 2 carries on Unicorns of Love showing up big time in this game here. Of course, shout out to Kold as well for some great engages with the Jarvan, but Samux and Exileh, this is their game, this is their show, carrying some of these team fights. Now they get the Baron as well. Giants tried to get rank 3 ultis on Kassadin and Vladimir, didn't get there yet. Then the fight broke out. They lost the AD carry instantly, and while we keep talking about how both teams have great scaling, it comes down to execution. One team wants to flank and kill the backline instantly, the other wants to kite back, and of course poke. Let's see the first engage. Exileh is on Steeelback, gets him down to 50%. And then Steeelback falls asleep. You can't, of course, cleanse out of that one easily. You will still sleep after. And that means Zoe gets to take him down. Meanwhile, Ruin, while he does a flash and pull, Unicorns never stop chasing, I realized in this game. Whenever they see any chance of a kill, they keep going. Targamas wants to be the good support, block the damage, and then he just gets smacked in the face. And he dies as well. Look at Exileh.
It's amazing how he survives this as well, because Betsy jumps in on him.
And he takes a tower shot, but then he gets the heal from Samux.
Steals the flash and then uses the portal jump to get away from the damage.
That was clean.
That's the exile that the Unicorns want. That's the exile we have seen in splits before. And the Unicorns at the 32-minute mark are 8,000 gold ahead. The last time these two teams faced off, they were 10,000 behind at this point in the game. What a change up for them. Much more coordinated, much stronger as a team now. And perhaps the start of something great for the Unicorns.
The start of something bad for Giants. This might be a 0-2 week for the team. Got dismantled yesterday by Splice, fastest game of the split. Now losing almost every team fight to Unicorns of Love. There's been some that went fairly even, and to be fair, Giants did win one of them, but not been able to get anything with it.
Holy moly, that's a lot of damage on Steeelback.
Ezreal. Oh, see that one we should have followed.
Practicing following them is important, and very important for the Unicorns as well that they crack into this inhibitor.
Hit another one. Then he missed.
Thanks for the update, Deficio.
That was my play-by-play.
Inhibitor goes down in the mid lane, so does the second tier tower in the bot, as the Unicorns get a 10,000 gold lead and are looking for their second inhibitor of the game. Glacial Prison does not connect from Djoko, trying to force the Unicorns back. Ruin jumps in, but he is done! Exile removes him from the Summoner's Rift. Cosmic Radiance comes down. It's only going to save Targamas for a time. Betsy forward. The Drowsy's going to land again. And Exile says goodbye to Betsy. The Unicorns of Love are stampeding over Giant.
They're going to win this game right here. Both carries are so fed in this game here. Exile hits everything at the moment.
A 1-8 team didn't look like a 1-8 team. The best 1-8 team we have ever seen, you said, Deficio. Well, the Unicorns of Love are going to reward their faithful fans here with their second victory in the EU LCS. They'll wipe Giants off the map, and they will take down the Nexus.
A great first game today. We continue the action from yesterday. Tonic, this all started level 1. With a fight over a red buff, into then a fight over a blue buff that resulted in 3 kills for Unicorns. Second win of the split for this team. And they managed to punish a Giants lineup that's currently struggling. The games are too fast for their playstyle. They want slow games. They want to get to the late game without anything happening. They're not allowed to do that anymore. Unicorns had so many engages. To be fair, Giants also had a lot of engages in this game. They were both kind of fighting each other. But we can see now that some of the carries on Giants' side are not able to have the same impact they had before. And Unicorns of Love, they deserved this win. Because despite some close fights in the mid-game, it always looked like, okay, next fight, that's going to be Unicorns. And it was.
They did such a good job closing it out as well. That yes, the mid game wasn't as strong as perhaps it could have been, but their ability to play around Exile, who had a stellar performance, you have to say. So did Samux.
Yeah, listen, both carries ended up 9-1 and 9 in this game. There was kind of trading. You get triple kill in this fight, I'll get in the next fight.
Samux had 2,000 more gold, so maybe that makes him the better carry.
I guess.
Is that how it works?
We should count skill shots.
Yes.
There's a lot of them from both Zoe and Ezreal.
A spammable Q.
Could use maybe a little bit longer cooldown.
Yeah.
On both sides, but
that's true.
I think this was like kind of exactly what Unicorns needed. Huge confidence boost when week 5 is ending. It's the
start of the second half. What a way to start the second half of the split. If the Unicorns, you are 100% undefeated in the second half of this split.
There we go. End the split now.
Yeah, just finish
Unicorns
it.
with 100% win rate. But just the fact that it doesn't matter who you beat if you're the Unicorns of Love. You just need wins. That's the only thing that matters for you. Because they're chasing a playoff spot. Same for H2K. And now that H2K have started to win, you can't afford to fall further behind if you want to still try and make top 6. So super important.
And you want to beat these teams that will probably be around those spots as well. Giants coming down the table probably at the moment. I think a lot of people say that they need to change up their playstyle if they're going to take wins.
But can they?
That's the question, isn't it? Because if the Unicorns continue to take wins, Giants have to do something. Otherwise, they're going to be the team in 8th or 9th at the end of the split.
Yeah, I mean, this game, non-stop fighting left and right. I think there were moments where Giants could, of course, have won a fight and then maybe taken something from it, and they could have been in control of the game. But that didn't happen, and then Unicorns kind of just needed that extra fight to get the triple kill for a carry.
Well, after all the action, we want to know who you think deserves player of the game. So head on over to @LOLEsports on Twitter and vote in the poll. Your choices are Exileh and Samux, and also Kold, who...
Why did you add him like that in the end?
Although he had a good game, I don't think he's going to get the majority of the votes.
He picked up 18 assists in this game.
Did he pick up 9 kills?
No, but 18
2 players
assists.
picked up 9 kills.
18 assists is better than 9 kills.
That's not how your mind works in solo queue. I've seen you.
But you've been part of 18
0,
kills.
10, 0, and you're like, oh, but I've got 10 assists. It's great.
Well, if I'm 0, 10, 0, then I just died 10 times.
Oh, that's true. That's what I usually expect from you.
There you go. I would never do that.
I've got footage. I have footage to prove it, Deficio.
Yeah?
But Unicorns have gone from being a 0, 10, 0 team to now being a 9, 1, 9 team, a team that can actually win these fights, that can actually dominate. And to get more insight on that game, let's head over to Quickshot and the Unicorns of Love's jungler.
Thank you very much, guys. First and foremost, congratulations, Kold, taking down a good victory on the day. Let's talk about the win. You had a really tough start to the game. That red buff invade went really badly.
Yes.
Did it feel like the game was over then?
In my mind, no. Slightly. I know it was rough after this, but I still believe we could win. But it's after a start like this, it's especially with like how we've been losing a lot. When I start like this, it's super rough in game, but I just looked at what possibilities were available for us, and then we turned the game around. So I was really happy with that.
Turned the game around, turned the second half of the split around. You're undefeated in the second half of the split.
That's good.
Before the game started, Deficio said that Unicorns of Love are the best 1-8 team we've ever had. Because it feels like the games that you lose are of one mistake or one key moment. If you look back over the last 4.5 weeks, do you think that's fair?
There's some to it. I mean, you lose for a reason, in my opinion. So we are just not good enough to win those games. When you look a little deeper into the games, obviously, it's funny because every time we go home after the loss, we're like, we should have won this game, but we fucked up on like we messed up. Sorry, we messed up on like some small things in the game that just led us to lose. And it's in the end, it's the small things that matters, and we are just not good enough to do those in the game. So I mean, you can say what you want, but we are just not good enough to be better than 1-8.
I really appreciate the candor, the honesty that you're speaking with. I have one last question for you. You've now won the first game in the second half of the split. It's a very difficult climb ahead. How do you and the Unicorns keep winning for the next 4 weeks of games?
Honestly, we need some confidence, you know, like we need some wins under the belt, and this is a start. And I think we all know deep inside that we have what it takes to reach way higher than we are right now, and that's what matters. So we will just keep grinding and work hard.
Well, best of luck for you and the rest of the split. Looking forward to your games, Kold.
Thank you.
Gonna announce that the player of the game was, in fact, Exileh, as voted for on Twitter. Thank you very much for everybody that tuned in. Smurfing, apparently, according to Kold. When we come back, we'll be jumping to H2K versus Vitality. Don't go anywhere.
All right, gets a kill. He's just about going to survive. Targamas there as well, but Exileh's not done yet. Betsy down. And Hema playing Samux. They're looking for the kill. Steeelback's going to jump across as well, but Samux surviving. Steeelback so aggressive. They get the kill. They get 2. The amount of bounds they take in their games is 10th, and once again we have a fight as Joker's caught out in the Baron pit. Is he going to be able to escape? He gets the snipe, but Totoro gets the kill. Rounding down damage from the side onto Samux, onto Kold. Targamas and Betsy trying to survive. Let's go, Steeelback! Up pushing forward, it's all on Steeelback. Betsy gets one though, he's going to get another in the back line. It's Samux. Steeelback's down towards the bottom side of this. There's Glacial Prison, but Exileh jumps in, cleanse away the sleep. Exileh's going to get a paddling onto Steeelback, and that is the dead AD carry, 1 for 1. As they fall down one by one. Exileh with the sleep doesn't quite connect. Does in the end with the Samux looking for it, gets the kill. Djoko gets jumped on. Samux with a triple are going to reward their faithful fans here with their second victory in the EU LCS. They'll wipe Giants off the map and they will take down the Nexus.